you where we bees at. How'd I get my G-Pass? None of your fucking beeswax. These raps bring a joint together like a kneecap. Fuck the little 8 ball, show me where the keys at. The time continuum, Mortal Kombat finish 'em.
What is up, YouTube? It's your boy Rick, and I'm back with another video. I'm here chilling in my garage. Got the vet right here. So if you read the title, you read the title. Watch this before you buy a vet, a C6 specifically. I get this question asked a lot. Of like, is my car a Z06? Is it a Grand Sport? Is it a base model? Blah blah blah. Blah, 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 blah. So I'm going to break it down for you guys so you guys know exactly what you guys get into, what's best for you, your budget, etc., etc. So let's jump into it. All right, guys. So first things first, I just pulled out my car. Body. Let's go over the body. C6 came out, I believe it's 05 to 2013, if I'm correct. I don't know. And just keep in mind, I might not be right about everything, so do your own research. So let's continue. My car is a base model, but it does have a wide body. The wide body that's on it is a Grand Sport. So, of course, the fenders are wider than a base model. I get that question asked a lot. Is it a Grand Sport? No, it is not a Grand Sport. It's a 2009 base model. All right, so base model don't have the wide body. Grand Sport does have the wide body. Z06 has the wide body also. The only difference with a Z06 and a Grand Sport is just the design. It's not much wider. I don't think it is. I had a Z06, which was my cyber gray one. So yeah, that also do have a Grand Sport front bumper. Of course, like I said, basically has a full Grand Sport body kit. So yeah, that's the body. All right, another thing to know when you're looking at the C6 Corvettes, base model and Grand Sport are steel frames. So this is steel frame, Grand Sport is a steel frame, and Z06 is aluminum frame. So why does that matter? If you're building a full-on drift car, you might want to weld the cage. If you get into a bad crash, you might want to have easy repairs. So with that being said, steel frame would be better to have for welding cage, and it's easier to repair when you get into a crash. Z06 on the other hand, it's aluminum. There is ways to weld in a cage to aluminum, but yeah, that's a whole nother topic. Anyways, base model Grand Sport is steel, aluminum is for Z06. Okay, another thing to go. So C6 came out in 05, late 05 I think. So 05 to 07, the C6 was LS2. 08 and up, it was LS3. I guess that's preference. Everybody says go with the LS3. I would agree. Go with the LS3 model, which is 08 and up. Base model. It's just best bang for the buck. Engines are reliable. Not saying that LS2 is not reliable, but I'm just saying you get best bang for your buck out of a LS3. So yeah, another thing to note real quick, since we're talking about the engines, base model is wet sump and Grand Sport is dry sump, and so is the Z06. Only difference is that, well, of course the Z06 doesn't come with an LS3, but Grand Sport and base model, LS3, same engine. One is just dry sump and the other one is wet sump. We're not going to get into all that. You could do your research if it benefits your needs for what you're going to use the car and what not. Like I said, I just have a base model LS3. Another thing that has to do with the body The tops on base model and Grand Sport are removable. They have the latch right there, but Z06 is not removable. I don't know why, that's just the way it is. So base model and Grand Sport, you could take off the top. Z06 you can't. And then real quick for interior, honestly, Corvette interior doesn't really change much on Grand Sports or anything. Everything's basically the same. Z06 has like Z06 logos here and there. Everything is pretty much the same, even if it just starts to change little by little when you go into like the packages, Z01 and all that other crap, but we're not gonna get into that. You could do your research. I have the basic package, no heads-up display or nothing like that. So just do your research on what fits your needs or whatnot. Like I said, everyone has their preference on what they're gonna use the car for and whatnot. Okay, also another question I get is like, what's better to get, a Grand Sport or a base model Corvette for drifting? My opinion, base model is always bang for buck if you're gonna build it to something else. Base model, LS3, can't beat it. Body kits you could get aftermarket. Body kits you could get OEM. Body kits you could get from a friend. Body kits you could, it's just so many sources of how you could build like wide body. Also, like Grand Sport does come with different brakes, different rotors. Z06 comes with bigger brakes and rotors. Other than that, the suspension is about the same. Also, Grand Sport does have like a, I'm not sure if it has an engine cooler. Trans cooler. I know the Z06 does. So it's just a bunch of little stuff that if you get yourself a base model Z06, a base model C6 Corvette, you could basically build it to a Grand Sport, and you could build it faster than a Z06. So at the end of the day, it's what the budget you have, what you're gonna use the car for, and what you're gonna do with the car. Like I said, to me, a base model is really good to start with, and you could build it to however you want. A lot of people don't even like the body kit of a Grand Sport and Z06, so they just get aftermarket. So really, then there's no point of wasting your money for the Grand Sport body kit and all that. Like I said, the dry sump, not really needed, but if you want it, you want it. The brakes, stock ones do enough. I don't know, it's just little stuff that, like, my opinion, get a base model. Use your money wisely. You could use money instead of wide fenders. You could do a cam kit, or instead of wide fenders, you could do coilovers and wheels. It's just, when you start with a base, you build it up to what you want. A Grand Sport, it's like an overall package good car too, but you're gonna pay, I would say, $10K or more than a base. So with that being said, it's all preference. Hopefully I answered some of your guys' questions. Other than that, it's a lot of little details for interior, but that should be most of the questions. That's basically the important stuff. It's just body, a little bit of suspension that's different, and then engines change from 05 to 08. In 08 it went LS3. So it's just stuff like that that you have to pay attention. But yeah, guys, that's about it. I will answer more questions about my car in a different video, but not this one. This one I just wanted to make sure you guys get your answers for what's the difference between Grand Sport, base, and Z06. It's just engine, body kit, brakes, and then the frame for Z06. Other than that, they're very, very, very identical. So yeah, guys, that's about it. Like I said, work with your budget and think about what you're gonna do with the car. You could, let me add this one thing. Everything you see in a Z06 and a Grand Sport, you could throw on a base model. So if you could get those parts cheap from a friend, you could build any model from a base model. Keep that in mind, guys. So yeah, that's it for today's video. Hopefully this helps you guys out when you guys go buy a Vette. Stay tuned for the next video. Like, share, and subscribe. Peace.